but you don't have to. And because the selectors are narrow, so the more sort of restrictions you put on that query, the more granular the data you're going to get back. In some cases, it might make more sense to say, well, give me all of the 600s, and then I'm going to iterate through the nodes that have been returned within that set and just pull a subset of the results out. That's sort of how we're dealing with the, I don't want to display the subfield for relator for the 700 fields. That's the approach I'm using for that. You could use that for a number of other approaches. So there's some good resources online for learning a little bit more about the CSS3 selectors, which are really a key to making full use of this. So again, you can copy and paste what I'm doing and probably get 99% of what you need done for your particular customizations. So I should have said I'll take questions at any time. I'll take questions at any time. But I'm anticipating these are some of the questions that you're going to ask. How much does it affect performance? Not much, as I said. It's only grabbing one copy of the requested metadata type per record display. Is this usable outside of record details? So is this more generally usable? And the answer is a resounding yes. Like I said, if I could, well, I'll give it a shot again. Hello, Wi-Fi. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, maybe later we can huddle around my laptop or something. We can take a look at it. So, yes?
I'm wondering, do you have built in here the a call out to bring in third-party data, like a table of contents from Jacket Art? I saw Jacket image in the earlier
right.
screen you showed.
So that particular content, so the question was, do you have built into this the ability to go out and pull in third-party content display, like the jacket image? So that particular content is coming through the added content layer. We use synthetics. You also have the option of using Open Library to pull in, say, tables of contents and image covers, or I think Amazon is an option as well. And that's just part of the existing infrastructure in Evergreen to pull those in and do a cached approach. But you can go out and grab other content. So one of the things that we're doing at Laurentian is when you display a journal, if there's an ISSN, I use Bib Template to take the ISSN value and check our open URL resolver to see if we have any electronic holdings available for that ISSN. And then I display that in the online resources section. So we're using SFX, so all that I've written is based on the SFX, but I know on the SFX XML API holdings. But I know that Serial Solutions and Cuffs at least offer APIs for similar sort of visibility, electronic visibility, so it'd be fairly easily adapted. It's actually something I wanted to consider trying to get into 1.6.1. Since I've had the code existing for a long time, I just wanted to generalize it. So yes, you can pull in other data. Some of the crazy things I've been considering for a case like Natural Resources Canada has ebook readers that have, say, 150 titles loaded onto them. And there's no really good way right now in Evergreen to provide a search that links 150 different bib records to a single barcode, right? And we've had discussions about whether this is really a long-term, is this something that's really going to happen in the long term, or our library is just going to be smart enough to figure out how to get individual electronic access available through devices or to laptops or whatever. But until that all sorts itself out, one of the rather ugly approaches that I've considered using to address that would be, you have your 150 different records. You could have a lookup, find out if that record entry is related to the ebook holder, and that could be as simple as having, say, a 900 field that has a special sort of identifier for the barcode for the ebook reader. It could then replace the existing copy details listing, where normally it would just show the copy details for that particular bib record entry. You can say, give me the bib record detail, or so the holding status for this particular barcode and override the sort of the default behavior. It would be ugly, but you could do that with Bib Template. It gives you the ability to make progress to solving problems that before, and I should have actually talked about before Bib Template. Do you mind if we jump off into that? Before Bib Template, the way that you would modify the record detail display would be to modify the mods parser Perl module to add in a field to the MetaBib virtual record object, and also modify the field mapper IDL to add that field to the MetaBib virtual record object, so that you could then pull that from this. It was not fun. We did it for a little while before we went live, and we threw it all out because Bib Template was a far better way of going. So this is much, much happier, and everybody should give a lot of applause to Alexander O'Neill and to Mike Rylander for kind of giving us what we have today. So does that answer your question? And give you an example of what we're doing. So yeah, so we can use this as our record details. For the search results page, Kevin Beswick at Laurentian, there's Kevin back there. Wave, Kevin. Has a mostly working version of the search results page that, rather than using the current approach which is an MVR-based approach plus a separate set of API calls to get the holdings per bib record, which ends up being a fair number of calls to Evergreen. He's using Bib Template to get the bib record with the holdings all returned back in a single call, and then displaying the full title rather than sort of the MVR approach title, which sometimes ends up with weird sort of concatenations and whatever. Full publisher details, all the details basically that you want over on the left-hand side, and then in the availability column, where today you would see the 1 of 2 or 0/0 or whatever for the set of scopes. He's using the MarkXML full format to display not only copies and copy status and call number, but also, if it's an electronic resource, giving a clickable URL that you could follow directly from the search results page. Because as it turns out, not only do our users apparently really want very full and detailed record details pages, they also don't want to see the record details pages at all. So most of the work that I did putting into having a great record details display page, they just want to see the call number, the status, and a URL right at the search results, and they don't care about tables of contents, reviews, other pages. But that's okay. So yeah, we've got basically a working proof of concept going. We just need to work out some Internet Explorer display issues, and it'll be useful for that as well.
Do you think that'll eventually be the default to actually use that for the results display as well? Do you think that'll become part of Evergreen, the default display in the future? It sounds like you're changing it. It's a pretty big engineering job here, so I was just wondering if that would be the default. I think it sounds like it offers a lot more options for the results page as well.
Yeah, no, I know you've been working on adding, say, call number into the search results.
Yeah, that's in there. I think that's actually in 161.
Okay.
Default skin.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, we haven't talked much about this, but I think there would be general support for replacing some of it. However, we still need the ability to give people the option of showing the availability in the current approach, because that is valuable. That's more valuable in some institutions than in others. And the approach that we generally use is give you a switch to decide whether you want to use one or the other when it's configurable display. And for that said, later on I've got a link to where our repository is in Evergreen, for Laurentian skins and all Conifer's sort of customizations. So you can always go to the Conifer set of content and take what you want, apply it at your site, and then modify as needed. So browser compatibility, it's great if you use anything other than Opera. Opera is unfortunate, well, anything with more than, say, 2 or 3% browser market share. Opera is around the 2% or 3% level. Opera doesn't like, in particular, I think that DojoX text content call, and it just dies. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're using this, is that you're going to be preventing, or your upper users aren't going to be seeing the same things that other people are. They won't see any of the data that you're displaying by Bib Template. We said we're happy to take that for the functionality that we gain. The number of people who actually use Opera is very minimal. It is a bit of a problem because on my Windows Mobile cell phone from 2.5 years ago, Opera Mobile is really the only usable browser on it. Internet Explorer sucks, but it's okay. We still have the Slim Pack.